Week 3 of the SPL provided no surprises. 3 wins to 3 teams we predicted. Let's look ahead to Week 4. You're listening to Voice Guided Smite. Week 3 saw another redacted match, but we kick things off on Thursday with eUnited versus Luminosity Gaming. eUnited took the series 3-1, moving from a 140 rating to a 126. LG moves from a 312 to a 326. Dignitas took on LG on Friday, winning the series 3-1, moving their team from 89 points down to 80. LG goes from the 326 all the way up to 325. The last and final match of the week saw EU take on SK in a very close fight. EU ends up taking the series 3-2, improving from a 126 to 113 to finish off their week. SK goes from 150 up to 163. That brings SPL standings to as you see. Dignitas still at the top with 3 wins. eUnited right below them with 2. Knights all the way down to, I put LG at the bottom of this list despite having the same amount of losses as Space Station. I just think they're the worst team, so why not? That brings us to the weekly SPI update. So the index predictor has now correctly predicted 8 correct outcomes of the match with 1 upset. And that'll bring us to week 4 previews. Thursday kicks off with Trifecta versus Space Station Gaming. Trifecta comes in with a rating of 309, Space Station Gaming with a 123, with 186 points in favor of Space Station Game winning. For Trifecta to pull this off, they can try to exploit what looks to be Space Station Gaming's weakness: team fights. They took on Dignitas and the Knights and always seemed to lose in the group matchups where they were fighting as a team. If Trifecta can win those exchanges, they may see the same success as Dignitas and the Knights. For Space Station to win, they just need to know that they should be, on paper, much better. Andy and Aqua should control those positions hands down, allowing them to win the solo, win mid, and rotate heavy into duo. Let Jeff get out and start bombing. Maybe he gets Bacchus. Maybe he doesn't. Space Station should win this. The matchups to watch, I think watching Aqua in solo lane will be much more fun in this matchup, as he seems to be now outclassing his matchups, as well as watching Andy and Weekend and the exchanges in jungle. It will be very important for Weekend to not lose it. If he can win it, they can keep Trifecta in it, maybe win the team fight exchanges. Space Station Gaming for the win. Thursday's matchups continue with Luminosity versus SK Gaming. Luminosity coming in at 335, SK with a 163, giving a 172 point advantage to SK winning. As with everything, LG needs to look to play something weird, expose weaknesses, find something that works outside the meta, be the team that changes the meta going forward in the league. For SK to pull off the win, they just need to play their SK games. They've looked pretty strong. They have Paul in the mid, which should be good, and that brings me to what you get to watch. This has potential for LG to pull off an upset. SK is not good enough that they should just dominate LG, but it's still within striking range for them. Can they get it? We'll find out. I think Paul in mid for SK finally gets to run rampant. I think Paul puts off several games that allow him to get a bloodbath of kills and ultimately lead his team from victory from that mid lane. I have SK beating LG. Friday kicks off with Luminosity versus the Renegades. Luminosity coming in at a 335 rating, presumably higher if they lose to SK. And Renegades with a 198, giving a 137 point advantage to Renegades winning. This will be the first time we see Renegades, as they have supposedly taken care of their visa issues and should be able to appear. The things that I'm looking forward to is just finally seeing them play. For Luminosity to win, again, another matchup I think that they could potentially still pull this one out. You have some teammates on the Renegades that know each other, but this will be the first time they're in SPL play together, all as the same thing. Maybe they get the kinks worked out, maybe they don't. For LG to win, same thing as usual. Mix it up, see what you can find, play aggressive, play fun. That's what the Renegades are going to do as well. These are two teams that both benefit from similar play styles, so this should be fun. Renegades get real aggressive, should be really aggressive behind iRapper. That's how he likes to play, and I think it's pretty much anyone's game with knowing how both these teams play. For the Renegades to win, just outplay them. You guys should have more skill. You have a really good Guardian as in iRapper who can initiate team fights. Should win. I'm looking forward to watching iRapper run wild. I'm looking forward to seeing LG pull out some mixed up stuff, and I think this game and this matchup is going to have a lot of big plays. Renegades win versus LG. Finishing off the week on Friday, Splice takes on Team Rival. Splice coming in with a 64 rating, Rival after making their debut a 115 rating. This gives a 51-point advantage to Splice to take the win. The World Champions make their debut here against Rival in what should be a very good matchup. World Champions against now arguably a top 3 team in Rival. What will we see? This is a rematch of the World Championships, but it is not the same team on Rival. Should be a different game, should be interesting to see. The big matchups that I'm looking forward to is going to be Cyclone Spin versus Argle. The ways that Splice can win, do Splice things. I think you have advantages all across the board at every position except your Hunter position. I think Argle is better than Cyclone, but I still think they're two of the tops in their positions. It should be a good matchup. For Team Rival to win, I think it comes down to the Battle of the Jungle. They have a close matchup there with Sino Shore and Captain Twig. Twig, we know, can get it done, but will he be able to do it enough? Hopefully they can pull off some good matchups. I hope there's a close fought 3-2 battle here for someone. I have Splice taking home another win. In closing, I'd just like to say I'm looking forward to finally having the full set of scheduled matches take place for the SPL. No more excuses to get rid of a match. All teams should be present, and they should all be there. Should be great to finally see how well the predictor works. There should be more upsets. I feel like a lot of the games that were canceled might have gone the other way than what my numerical evaluation to predict these matchups should have produced. The great thing is seeing now how the numbers should adjust a little bit more with more teams getting involved, and we might actually see some new rankings after, let's say, 2 weeks from now. Not this week, not this one, but after the next one, I will be doing a full ranking predictor, and I will be giving updated position rankings, updated team rankings. It will have a whole new slew of power index understanding, but that will be after next week's show, and I hope to see you. Hope you keep watching. Once again, this has been Voice Guided Smite.